Chapter 875, Not Interested. Blood Devil Sun Bloodline? The experts of the 10,000 Sacred Clan looked at each other and started to discuss. King Luyun and company soon thought of one person. The Blood Devil Sun bloodline was ranked 81st among the Imperial Dao bloodlines, and it was one of the top bloodlines in the continent zone. There was indeed a youth with a bloodline similar to the Blood Devil Sun bloodline, and he was currently being confined. May I ask Elder Tai? What truth is out? Solemnness appeared on Emperor Ling Qiang's face. Emperor Ling Qiang was extremely wary of Tai Lishan and the Tai family behind him. Any one of the 8 big families of the Great Gong Lord dynasty was comparable to a 3-star power, and any action taken by one could have a big effect on the entire Lord dynasty. Amongst the 8 big families, the Tai family was one of the stronger ones. It was comparable to a peak 3-star power. The Tai family resided in Xiling Palace and guarded the northwestern region of the Lord dynasty. They were the main defenders against the Dark Moon Lord dynasty. All of the members of the Tai family were raised up through iron and battle. Their strength was almost unrivaled amongst those of the same generation. In comparison, the 10,000 Sacred Clan wasn't even a 3-star power, let alone a peak 3-star power. It couldn't be compared to the Tai family. Therefore, the atmosphere right now in the 10,000 Sacred Clan was very tense. The Tai family was definitely a power that the 10,000 Sacred Clan didn't dare to offend. Tai Lishan's battle power was extremely strong, and he could easily defeat normal emperors. I'm going to find Zhou Fang and raise him back at the Tai family. Tai Lishan's eyes became hot as he thought about a perfect Blood Devil Sun bloodline. He couldn't contain his excitement just thinking about it. Zhou Fang, I don't think that will work. Emperor Ling Qiang's expression changed once more as she replied instantly. Some news regarding the Divine Illusion Dimension had spread out not long ago, and one of the most important pieces of news was about Ziyang Palace and the Black Serpent Dragon with the Destruction Dragon race bloodline. The stunning treasures within Ziyang Palace, the power of the evil god, ancient god weapons, and substandard god weapons created shockwaves across the Lord dynasty. Emperor Ling Qiang heard that there was a purple-haired demonic duo in Ziyang Palace that surpassed all the other super families and forces. One of the purple-haired demonic duo was called Zhou Fang, and Emperor Ling Qiang guessed that her clan's Zhou Fang was most likely one of the purple-haired demonic duo and had unfathomable strength. Don't think that will work? Ha ha ha. Does the 10,000 Sacred Clan want to block the Tai family's path? Tai Lishan roared with laughter. Boom! A bright scarlet red light radiated from Tai Lishan and seemed to turn the place into an ocean of fire. Hundreds and thousands of disciples were about to be burned by the scorching flames. Ugh! Some of these members couldn't take the heat, and they were unable to break through the ocean of fire no matter how they struggled. Stop! Emperor Ling Qiang spread her arms, and a crystal-like little world appeared and started to block the blazing red light coming from Tai Lishan. However, this meant that she needed to take Tai Lishan's attack head-on. Bam! Emperor Ling Qiang groaned and her body shook. Even her little world started to tremble. You're not my match. Tell Zhou Fang to come out and talk to me. Tai Lishan stood with his hands behind his back as the blazing red light around him suddenly condensed back into his body, turning him into a blazing sun. However, it was at this moment that another surge of Emperor aura appeared in the depths of the 10,000 Sacred Clan. Has the 10,000 Sacred Clan become so weak that one measly Emperor dares to steal from us? An old tired voice sounded from the 10,000 Sacred Clan. Although the aura of this Emperor wasn't as forceful as Tai Lishan, it was thicker and denser. Wing! An elder with white hair appeared. He was covered in orange light and radiated a strong surge of magnificent power. Old monster Zhu, you're still alive even after failing to break through to the mystic light realm? Tai Lishan's eyes finally became slightly wary. In the Tianfeng Great Island Zone, only Duke Nanfeng made him wary, but this old monster Zhu was also not to be underestimated. He was once a peak emperor, but he failed to break through to the mystic light realm and was coming to the end of his lifespan. Furthermore, the 10,000 Sacred Clan had 3 emperors. Amongst them, Emperor Ling Qiang was the weakest. For the next couple of breaths, the emperors started to talk with each other through divine sense. The other kings could feel the undulation of divine senses, but not what they said. A long time later, the elder with white hair covered in orange light spoke. Fine. We'll do as you wish, Shua. As soon as he said this, the emperor projection of old monster Zhou disappeared. No one know what kind of agreement that these emperors came to. Tell Zhou Fang to come out and make a decision, Emperor Ling Qiang said with a cold expression. Due to their wariness toward the Tai family, the 10,000 sacred clan had to take a step back, but they wanted to make it look better and let Zhou Fang decide for himself. Tai Lishan was confident, so he agreed. A while later, reporting to Emperor, the place where Zhou Fang is cultivating is unable to be approached because the force there is too strong, a half-stab king arrived and said in a hurried tone. Emperor Ling Qiang and Tai Lishan's divine senses turned toward a certain area. A whirlpool of wind and lightning alongside a strong surge of wood and water came from that location. Ha ha ha, as expected of a member of the Tai family, managing to acquire the intent necessary to become a king. Tai Lishan roared with laughter, and the expressions of the upper echelon members such as Emperor Ling Qiang and the various kings became ugly. Such a genius actually hadn't been discovered by the 10,000 sacred clan. Shua, Tai Lishan and Emperor Ling Qiang appeared in the air above Zhou Fang's courtyard. Within the room, Zhou Fang's eyebrows furrowed as he walked out and looked at the two emperors in the air. You're Zhou Fang, very good, very good. Tai Lishan's face was filled with praise, and a fiery hot light appeared in his eyes, which made Zhou Fang's hairs stand up on end. The strength of this Tai Lishan had almost reached the level of a peak emperor, and he was much stronger than Emperor Mu Yun, who Zhou Fang faced in the pirate's sacred land. Just as Zhou Fang was feeling lost, Shua, Tai Lishan waved his hand, and an old figure appeared from his little world. Grandfather Zhou? Zhou Fang couldn't help but exclaim. Grandfather Zhou was the grandfather of the original Zhou Fang. Since the original Zhou Fang's parents had died when he was still young, his grandfather had raised him. The relationship between the two was like father and son. Fanger, did you still remember the surname of your mother? Grandfather Zhou let out a long sigh as complex emotions covered his face. He learned the secret of Zhou Fang's bloodline, and it wasn't as simple as he ever would have imagined. Surname? Zhou Fang started to think. Since he had cultivated the 10,000 divine thoughts technique, he could easily find the memories in the depths of his mind. He soon found the answer. The name of the original Zhou Fang's mother was Tai Ziyulai. Tai. The bodies of Emperor Ling Qiang and the kings from the 10,000 sacred clans shook with disbelief. I didn't think that your mother would be a member of one of the 8 big families, Grandfather Zhou said. It was obvious that he only learned of this not long ago as well. Zhou Fang stood still for a while. He had indeed been curious about his bloodline and was planning to go back to the Zhou family and ask about it. He didn't expect that this blood devil son bloodline had caught the attention of an expert from the Tai family. After knowing the truth, the upper echelons of the 10,000 sacred clan couldn't help but sigh. Without even having to think about it, Zhou Fang would definitely choose to go to the Tai family and not stay in the 10,000 sacred clan, which was only a peak 2-star power. Not to mention, Zhou Fang had just been confined by Emperor Ling Qiang not long ago. No wonder Tai Lishan was so confident and made the deal to let Zhou Fang decide on his own. Fanger, why aren't you following this emperor? Grandfather Zhou warned and signaled to Zhou Fang, as if saying that joining a super family like the Tai family would help both Zhou Fang and the Zhou family. Tai Lishan had a faint smile as he waited for Zhou Fang's reply with confidence. On the contrary, Emperor Ling Qiang and company had ugly expressions as they prepared for the worst. I'm sorry, but I'm not interested in my birthright. Right now, I only want to focus on cultivation. Zhou Fang's gaze scanned over the two emperors in the air and turned around, leaving behind the image of his back as he walked away. Everyone was stunned. The mouths of the 10,000 sacred clan upper echelon members present fell open. Tai Lishan's expression was even more colorful. It was as if he had been choked, and his face went bright red as he floated in the air. Zhou Fang didn't decide to leave with you. According to the deal we made. Emperor Ling Qiang was extremely surprised and let out a faint smile. She never would have thought that Zhou Fang wouldn't be interested in returning to the Tai family. He didn't exactly choose to stay in the 10,000 sacred clan either. Tai Lishan harrumphed coldly as he left with Grandfather Zhou. According to the deal, he didn't lose yet. Zhou Fang hadn't chosen the 10,000 Sacred Clan or the Tai family. It could be said that he wasn't interested in choosing. Zhou Fang started to cultivate again back in his room. The 10,000 Sacred Clan became calm and quiet once more after Tai Lishan left. Emperor Ling Qian gave the order to not let anyone enter the area around Zhou Fang's courtyard. Zhou Fang doesn't even bother with emperors as strong as Tai Lishan. Could he really be one of the purple-haired demonic duo and one of the biggest winners of Ziyang Palace? Emperor Ling Qian instinctively felt that the 10,000 Sacred Clan wouldn't be able to contain this rising dragon. Time passed, and news traveled from the central region of the continent toward the Tianfeng Great Island Zone near the ocean. The news shocked Emperor Ling Qian and the upper echelon of the 10,000 Sacred Clan. Almost 2 months had passed since the end of the Divine Illusion Dimension. Within the room, Zhou Fang had reached the critical stage of his cultivation, and the surges of wind lightning True Yuan in his crystal core started to form the outline of a True Yuan dimension. Because Zhou Fang already had Emperor intent, his True Yuan was comparable to a half-step king when he was at the peak Great Origin Core realm. The last 2 months of cultivation had almost allowed him to become a king. All he needed to do was construct his True Yuan dimension. Chapter 876, Brewing Storm, Return of the King. The area around where Zhou Fang was cultivating was completely cleared by the clan's upper echelon. There was no one else within 100 miles of him. Wayne Tilda. The whirlpool of wind and lightning above the courtyard was as thick as the ocean. Every breath caused a huge chunk of wind lightning to surge in and then excrete the impure yuan qi. This force made even kings feel pressured and unable to approach. There was the occasional divine sense that scanned toward the area where Zhou Fang was cultivating. It's hard to imagine that he's already fulfilled the requirements needed to break through to a king at such a young age. He isn't far away from actually breaking through. The power of his wind lightning intent also surpasses the norm. The kings of the 10,000 Sacred Clan discussed in private. Almost 2 months had passed since the Divine Illusion Dimension. In this period of time when Zhou Fang was cultivating, one piece of news after another came from the Lord Dynasty. Within a crystal palace on a high mountain of the 10,000 Sacred Clan, reporting to Third Elder, according to the news from the central regions of the Lord Dynasty and Earth Spirit Hall, the purple-haired demonic duo was the biggest winner in Ziyang Palace. I believe that Zhou Fang from our clan is one of those two, the leader of the purple-haired demonic duo. A half-step king knelt on the ground with respect. The leader of the demonic duo. Are you sure about this? Emperor Ling Qian exclaimed. Even though she was somewhat ready for it, she didn't expect Zhou Fang to actually be the leader of the demonic duo. What was more incredible was that the duo was the biggest winner in Ziyang Palace. From the news they had received, either one of the demonic duo was strong enough to not fear normal emperors. Gu Kaozi from Earth Spirit Hall talked with the demonic duo before and is familiar with them. The half-step king said confidently. Earth Spirit Hall was one of the 3-star powers on the edge of the continent, not too far away from the Tianfeng Great Island Zone. Later that day, the elders of the 10,000 Sacred Clan held an emergency meeting. After confirming Zhou Fang's identity, the upper echelon of the 10,000 Sacred Clan didn't dare to do anything rashly. Firstly, Zhou Fang's strength was incredulous, and he surely had some hidden cards after escaping Ziyang Palace. Secondly, Zhou Fang's backing was strong. He had an emperor for a master as well as Duke Nanfeng's favor. Thirdly, the Tai family. The Tai family was one of the top families even among the 8 big families, and they were the main resistance against the Dark Moon Lord dynasty. Emperor Tai Lishan of the Tai family hadn't left yet. He was staying not far away from the 10,000 Sacred Clan. In the clouds, Tai Lishan in his dark red battle robes gazed down at the 10,000 Sacred Clan with glittering eyes. I didn't think that this youth with the bloodline of my Tai family was one of the biggest winners of Ziyang Palace. I underestimated him. Tai Lishan murmured as his expression started to become solemn. The problem of Zhou Fang returning to the Tai family was starting to become complicated. The treasures within Ziyang Palace were something that 3-star and 4-star superpowers were unable to resist. Furthermore, the purple-haired demonic duo had made countless enemies in the Divine Illusion Dimension. In a mountain range surrounded by dark mist within the continent zone, There were demonic auras that could scare both gods and ghosts alike. This place was a famous sacred land of the Lord dynasty, the Nine Darkness Mountain Range. When speaking about the Nine Darkness Mountain Range, one had to talk about the ruling force here, Nine Darkness Palace. Nine Darkness Palace was one of the strongest demonic Tao forces of the Great Gon Lord dynasty, and it was once a 4-star power. Even though it was now only a peak 3-star power, it was an elite force among the other 3-star forces, and it was essentially the leader of the demonic Tao cultivators. However, on this day, roars of anger and surges of killing intent came from within a central hall of Nine Darkness Palace. The elites of Nine Darkness Palace were slaughtered by one of the demonic duo, Nan Gongsheng. Zhu Wuji had broken through to become a peak tier king at that point, but he couldn't even fight back against that breadth. Looks like the news of him inheriting the evil god's power is true. The owners of these voices were all at least peak tier kings. Many of them were emperors or even stronger. Some of the demonic Tao emperors had just come out of seclusion and were enraged by this news. Normal kings' hearts would jump and they would be unable to breathe if they were here. Reporting to Grand Elder, a king half knelt on the ground and said in a trembling tone, "No one knows about Nan Gongsheng of the purple-haired demonic duo, but there have been traces of him in the central regions of the Lord dynasty." Nan Gongsheng. The upper echelon members of Nine Darkness Palace all remembered this name. It was this person that killed all the elites from Nine Darkness Palace that had entered Ziyang Palace. Nan Gongsheng's battle power was at least comparable to an emperor. Apart from that, Zhou Fang of the purple-haired demonic duo comes from the 10,000 sacred clan of the Tianfeng Great Island Zone. That place is Duke Nanfeng's territory. The king half knelt on the ground and looked toward the Grand Elder that was covered in demonic light. The aura of the Grand Elder was extremely empty. His body seemed to be weightless. He was like a ball of demonic light that had surpassed the limits of flesh and blood. If it wasn't for the fact that they were looking right at the Grand Elder, he would have been ignored. The Grand Elder hadn't spoken since the start. Two powerful existences stood on his left and right, a black-robed demonic lord and a charming demonic girl in purple-black flames respectively. Under these three major figures were the other emperors, including some peak emperors. Killing Nan Gongsheng will require at least several emperors. To make sure of our success, we will send out a mystic light realm sacred lord. No one saw the charming demonic girl in black flames say anything, but her voice resounded across both the physical and mental dimensions. Mystic light realm sacred lord. The hearts of the kings and emperors present shook. Peak emperors were at the level of Duanmu King, the Wind Lightning Emperor, and even the Emperor of Death. According to Nan Gongsheng's strength, 2 or 3 peak emperors would be more than enough to kill Nan Gongsheng. But the upper echelon of Nine Darkness Palace placed great importance on this matter. As for the other person of the demonic duo, Zhou Fang, he's said to be extremely mysterious and not to be underestimated. The black-robed demonic lord nodded his head. At this moment, the two mystic light realm sacred lords looked at each other as they made a decision. The demonically lit Grand Elder who sat in the middle let out one word, "Okay." The second he said that, the unfathomable Grand Elder disappeared. If the demigod Kunyun was here, he would be shocked by what he saw. Elsewhere in the Great Gon Lord dynasty, in a place known as Sky Suspension Palace, a group of palaces floated amongst the clouds. This place was like heaven as it looked down on everything. On a lone peak sat 2 mortals with normal oars playing chess with each other. These 2 mortals were a flabby-faced big-eared fatty and a wrinkled elder without any signs of life. Whoosh! Right at this point, the magnificent aura of an emperor descended. Reporting to the 2 martial ancestors, we can faintly feel the direction of the black serpent dragon. There are also traces of where Nan Gongsheng, who inherited the power of the evil god, is. The aura of this emperor even surpassed Hylishan and was close to the Emperor of Death. Based on the mark of destruction, the strength of that black loach hasn't recovered to the demigod level yet. There's still a chance to seal it right now, the wrinkled elder said. The price required to seal that black loach is too big. We need to drag those old undead from the Grand Imperial Hall with us. They definitely won't watch the Lord dynasty just come to an end, the flabby-faced elder said in a cunning tone. These 2 mortals looked at each other and soon came to an agreement. At this moment, Zhou Fang was still cultivating in the 10,000 sacred clan. He didn't realize that he had entered the whirlpool of the Lord dynasty. He only had one target right now, and that was to recover to the Void God realm and then surpass the peak of his previous life. It's about time. Zhou Fang circulated the wood and water of wind lightning. The crystal core within his Danshan had stabilized and wouldn't change in size, but the inner part of the crystal core had changed dramatically. The true Yuan had turned into an ocean and formed its own dimension. With the formation of a true Yuan dimension, Zhou Fang would step into the domain of kings. Su, su, su. On this day, the sound of flying appeared in the air, and powerful auras one after another covered the 10,000 sacred clan. The owners of these auras were all at least Void God Realm kings, and there were 4 or 5 Void God Realm emperors. That's Tylishan revealed a surprised look as he floated in the air. He had already recognized where this force came from. In the entire Lore dynasty, there were only a few 3-star forces. Void God Realm experts from Earth Spirit Hall. Chaos broke out amongst the entire 10,000 sacred clan. Even Emperor Ling Qiang started to panic. Earth Spirit Hall probably doesn't have good intentions. Emperor Ling Qiang's heart went cold. Earth Spirit Hall was the only 3-star power in the surrounding area, and it was even slightly stronger than the mystic true sacred clan that Zhou Fang was originally from. 10,000 Sacred Clan? This is the clan that Zhou Fang is from? Gu Kaozi was amongst the kings and emperors. His divine sense started to scan across the 10,000 Sacred Clan. Although he was wary of Zhou Fang, the difference in strength between the two forces was extremely big. Earth Spirit Hall was a 3-star power, and the 10,000 Sacred Clan was a 2-star power. This would be an absolute slaughter. 10,000 Sacred Clan, hand over Zhou Fang of the purple-haired demonic duo. A voice sounded across heaven and earth and caused the mountains underneath the 10,000 Sacred Clan to shake as surges of magnificent power covered them. The upper echelon of the 10,000 Sacred Clan wasn't surprised that Earth Spirit Hall wanted Zhou Fang. Emperor Ling Qiang and company instinctively looked toward the area where Zhou Fang was cultivating and found that the whirlpool of wind lightning above the courtyard was fading away. At this instant, Zhou Fang had silently completed his breakthrough and concealed his aura. This definitely wasn't something new kings could do.